I've served Thurston County for 5 years. Okay. Good afternoon. Welcome to Thurston County Board of County Commissioners check-in for Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. It is 1:33 p.m. My name is Ty Menser, Chair of the Board. With me here in the boardroom is County Manager Leonard Hernandez. That's it. We also have Commissioner Rachel Grant, Commissioner Wayne Fournier, Commissioner Emily Klaus, and Commissioner Mejia is in Washington, D.C. at training, so we did not expect her, but public available, virtual attendance is available on our YouTube channel, and we have written public comment that can be received up to 2 hours in advance and distributed to the board, and action may be taken at this meeting. I don't think we anticipate any.
No.
So, first up is reports on external boards and commissions. Anyone like to start or have anything that they need to report?
I don't have anything that's any different than I gave it at the meeting.
Okay. Thanks, Vice Chair Fournier. Commissioner Grant, you had a long report. Did you have anything like for kind of deeper discussion of the board regarding your various committee assignments?
No, not at this time.
Okay. Commissioner Klaus?
The only update I have, yesterday I talked about EFSP not receiving funds from the feds, and I have a meeting set up with them next Friday to get more information, so I'll have more to report on that after I meet with them.
Thank you. Commissioner Klaus, could I ask you a question about the RHC retreat?
Yeah.
I'm just curious because there's a lot of council races going on and candidates coming out with various statements, and I'm hearing a lot of talk, at least in one race, about Maple Court, kind of politicizing that issue. And I'm just wondering if you could, like, what's the latest with Maple Court to your knowledge? Like, I haven't heard much about it lately, which I felt like probably is good news, but what is going on there if you know any updates?
Yeah, so let me grab my notes, but off the top of my head, so there have been some concerns around Maple Court, kind of the same stuff we've been hearing in the past. Lacey is concerned just about like the optics and whether or not there's enough oversight either over the participants or Lehigh as an agency. And my understanding is that some folks in Lacey are wanting more oversight of Lehigh because, there's just concerns around, like, I believe it's like drug use and just the optics of the location as a whole. I haven't received like specific concerns, but from what I can tell, it's the same stuff that we've heard in the past, and it just seems to be getting worse. So at first, Lacey was requesting that we find ways to put more money into Maple Court to provide that kind of oversight. But once we got down into the specifics of what they're really wanting, it became kind of like they're open-minded. They just want a solution. And so there are a number of us on the Regional Housing Council who don't feel like just dumping more money is the solution, because it's kind of like an issue of best practices, from my understanding, that, Lehigh has some room for growth. I'll put it that way. And so the county is discussing, and when I say the county, I mean like our housing team. So Tom has been talking with me about potentially offering some education on best practices to Lehigh. So that's one possible approach. I'm also thinking of potential approaches to try to rectify the situation and make it better. But we know that the goal of Maple Court is to eventually become permanent supportive housing. And we're kind of getting up to that timeline. I think that the goal was to have it be permanent supportive housing after 3 years. And it doesn't look like that's going to be possible given the amount of improvements needed to the actual infrastructure. Anyone who's driven by there can see that pretty much the whole building is under construction, and those are like fundamentally fundamental structural issues that the building is, going through. So there were a lot of issues that I don't know if they were overlooked when Maple Court was purchased, but it's just, structurally and operationally, they're really, really struggling. And local businesses apparently are complaining about the activity going on around there. So there's just kind of a whole, mess of, there's like a lot of issues going on. So we're having discussions about that at the Regional Housing Council level, but it's unclear what the path forward looks like. So we're kind of trying to think creatively about what we can do. And I have some ideas that I'm going to talk with the Regional Housing Council about, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
Chair, if I could.
Yeah.
The city manager of Lacey has reached out to me. So Commissioner Klaus's update was helpful because I've not heard this from our housing staff. But, I encouraged him to let me know what the concerns were, and then we'll be meeting with our team and their team to talk it through. So Commissioner Klaus, I look forward to keeping you updated on how that conversation goes so that we can all be on the same page. But I think that from what I'm hearing from the city manager, they feel like the concerns have not been addressed from the county standpoint. So we'll get into that and understand exactly what it is. And I can report that back out to the board.
Yeah, because I'm curious, because Lehigh, we kind of went through a round before. And then, we met with the leadership, and they actually had their operational person come and give talk at a couple different committees. And so if things are not gotten any better, then, I'm curious, what is our contractual relationship with Lehigh? And, when Commissioner Klaus said, is more oversight needed of Lehigh? Well, how do we do that? What does that look like? Because I feel like they've had a couple bites at the apple at this point.
That's good background to know as well. So that helps then to inform, we're not starting a new conversation, but that this has happened for some time.
Yeah.
Which in my mind makes it more imperative that we come to the table with some solutions. So.
Okay, Commissioner Fournier.
Yeah, you kind of answered or commented on things. So yeah, I've been approached by a couple Lacey council members about this issue as well. But I guess I'm looking for clarification. The Lehigh contract, who is that with specifically? That's with the county itself, right?
I know the Maple Court contract is with the county itself.
Okay. The contract, the operational control is with the county, not with RHC, right?
It's with the county, yeah.
Okay. So that's where the conversation needs to occur with the county and the housing team, and it's occurring at RHC. Is that?
No, thanks for asking that question. That's good clarification. So, no, the Regional Housing Council at this point is just hearing the concerns from Lacey. So these conversations are relatively new. We're not having discussions around necessarily operational solutions that we're moving forward with. We're kind of just throwing suggestions out and kind of thinking it through. But no, there hasn't been anything specific okay, this is the course of action that we're going to take. It's still pretty fresh conversations. So that's good to know that you're meeting with the city manager. And do you happen to know a timeline on when you're going to have that conversation?
No, we don't have something scheduled yet. I think where it's at is he's putting together a list of items he wants to cover. So it gives us time to do some background research with the team. This conversation, hearing from you, Commissioner Klaus, and you, Commissioner Minzer, is helpful, knowing that it's been an ongoing conversation. So
yeah.
But I will definitely make this a priority and then report back to the full board so that the board can have an understanding of what's taking place, since you're being contacted from other council members. I understand the why.
Right. And just as a reminder for folks who might not know, that Lehigh actually owns the building, which is not like very many models that we've seen before in the county. So that kind of complicates things a little bit, since they were actually gifted the building. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Commissioner Klaus. Just wanted to kind of just flag that for future discussion. My reports, I really don't have anything. I just attended Grand Mound Rochester Chamber. They've obviously are geared up for Swede Day on the 21st of June, the coronation on the 20th. I brought a button for Commissioner Fournier, directly purchased from a princess, that I'll leave on his desk. That is a good.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're selling them as like it's like kind of fun. Like the princesses all sell buttons, and then if there's some kind of tie, like the tiebreakers, who sold the most buttons. So.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Thank you.
And they were really excited about the idea about this when I talked about the peacock and the sculpture, and that you can raffle like to win this like 4-foot high wooden peacock for the fair. That was very exciting. So I was good. Let's go on to our next piece then. Next up is an employee recognition. And we're doing this here because it is our very own Linda Nashed-Zeman. 5 years of service to Thurston County. So let's give her a hand. I have her pin and her certificate.
Thanks.
Way to go, Linda.
Pretty nice pin.
Oh, that is nice. Thank
I'm
you.
gonna hug you so that shake your hand.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody.
Congrats, Linda.
Commissioner Grant.
Actually, just wanted to back up to the discussion about the peacock. So yesterday, I haven't got to see them yet, but the little peacocks on a stick, I had pitched to the fair board that, if we take those with us, and so, I can't remember the peacock's name right now, but
Dave,
does anyone remember the Dave? Is it Dave?
Dave.
Yeah, Disco Dave.
Disco Dave.
Yeah, okay, so Disco Dave. So you're gonna take Disco Dave with you, and then wherever you're at, you like take a picture with you. Like, yeah, Disco Dave goes to Rochester. Disco Dave goes to
I totally
E911.
I thought
Yeah.
of you,
Yeah,
and I was at the lunch today, and I knew I should have had this with me. So
yeah. And so then when it goes on your social media, it's like everywhere you go, Disco Dave. So I thought that would be really fun. Hopefully we can all get a little bit behind that. So have fun with Disco Dave for the next few weeks.
absolutely, thank you. Good idea. Okay, last up is Marvelous Adventures of County Land, NACO book, which is sitting in front of me. County Manager, what is it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Special thanks to Commissioner Mejia, who is busy in DC, but she flagged for our awareness that NACO puts out a book called The Marvelous Adventures of County Land. We've purchased copies for each of the commissioners so that next year when we do, I think there's a County Appreciation Month. Yes. We can work with our Timberland Regional Library system, and if commissioners are interested, schedule them to attend story times to read this book and educate our next generation on the amazing things that counties do. So we'll make sure each of you have a copy, and then we'll have some spare copies in case you need extras. But we wanted just to follow up on that and make sure you're all aware that that's a resource.
What I didn't know is it talks in the first is that it's kind of an AI project.
Oh.
It was generated by AI, and the point of the project was to showcase evolving capabilities, scale and intricate nature of AI technology, stimulate policy discussions about the opportunities and challenges with AI learning models, and inspire young people to explore. And then the third part is what the county manager said, explore the exciting and meaningful roles and responsibilities of county government officials. So interesting project here, and we'll each get one.
Yep.
Okay, other commissioner items. Anything commissioners like to raise? Hearing none, we're at the end of the agenda. Thanks, everybody. We're adjourned.